right, it is training block week 1. We are headed out for my first long run of the first week of the first block. Going for 10 miles. This week I'm trying to start my training block at 25 miles. I feel like if I start at 25, I can ramp up and hopefully spend some time in the 50s after about 10 or 12 weeks. I've never actually gotten to 50 miles in a week before, so that is a strong goal for me. I am shooting for the Irving Marathon April 2nd, and we are 16 weeks away.
The biggest trick to ramping up your mileage like this is making sure you're running lots of slow miles. I'd say 75% of your runs need to be slow, but at least most of them need to be slow. You also don't have to make all of your miles on each run slow. You can do 3/4 of a single run slow and mix in a few quality miles like I do on this long run. But at the end of the day, increasing mileage means a lot of them need to be slow, and then that way you have the strength and energy to do your fast miles fast and those hard days hard.
I am a little over 210 pounds right now. Not super excited about it since I lost all that weight recently. I had a baby, got a new job, some things in life changed, but that doesn't stop me from getting out there working. I don't suggest anybody over 210 pounds can just strap on the shoes and run 10 miles in one go. It takes a little while of aerobic base building, nice and slow, lots of slow miles, slowly stretching it. However, when I first started running, I got to a 5K in the very first month, and you can too. All right, nice and easy pace. Hoping to float around 10 minutes on the way up. I'm at about 6 miles. Oops. But time to turn around. So I'm 6 miles away from my car. Now, fun part is, I was going slightly uphill for the last 3 or 4 miles. So now I get to go slightly downhill. Pick up the pace a little bit. I'm gonna try to get 3 miles in at my goal marathon pace, which is 8:45. A little optimistic, but that's what goals are for. got to get that nutrition in as soon as you get back. Give your body something to burn. I try to do a protein shake when I'm running to and from the house, but when I'm in the car, a lot of times it doesn't work. So I got a protein bar and some everything butter.
I think it's worth noting that I'm coming off some pretty high mileage in November. I was in 40-mile range there for a little while. I was training for a marathon that didn't end up happening. And I'll admit that a 26-mile week for week one is pretty aggressive. Also, my long run for week one was 12 miles, which is about 45% of my total mileage for the week of 26.3. And that's also pushing it a little bit. My plan was to run 10 miles that day, but I was feeling good, and so I went ahead and did the 12. I would recommend trying to keep your long run mileage closer to 30% of your mileage for the week. It'll help you stay injured and get back to training after it, not spend too much time on the recovery bench. However, since I'm coming off some pretty strong mileage and have a pretty good aerobic base going into this training block, I was able to really hit the ground running on week one, but still take 3 days off. So I wasn't pushing it too bad. My goal for this marathon is 4 hours. It's a little optimistic because that's a 9-minute, 9-second mile pace for all 26.2, and 9:09 is me pushing pretty hard. However, that's what goals are for. For this week, my goal was between 25 and 28 miles, and I wanted about 7 of them to be at marathon pace or below, which for me is 9 minutes or less. I was able to exceed that just barely while still keeping my quality miles in that 30% range of my total mileage for the week, keeping 70% of my miles fairly slow. On Tuesday, I came out of the gate pretty hot, and I wanted to do a 5K at marathon pace just to see what my goal was looking like. It felt pretty good, and I got the week started off strong. After a day off on Wednesday, I started Thursday with a progression run. A progression run is where you start off pretty easy and you slowly ramp up the speed until you get to your goal pace, and then you cool down. In this instance, I hit 8:39 for one quality mile out of 6.5. Friday, I took it real easy. 4.2 miles at an average pace of 10:47. Easy for me is generally in that 10:30 to 11-minute mile pace. After I warm up, it can get as low as 10. And now for the big boy, my 12-mile long run. Average pace ended up being 9:25, but the first 6 miles was fairly easy, and then 2 easy miles at the end. So it was really only that 3 or 4 miles where I picked up the pace and clocked some quality miles. And that was week one of the 16-week marathon training block. Please, if you made it this far, like and subscribe and you can keep up with the journey. Or otherwise, I hope you have some good luck with your running adventures in the future. Whether or not it is running a whole marathon or you're just trying to increase your weekly mileage. I know I still have a whole ton to learn, and I look forward to sharing it with you guys. And I hope y'all have a great time.